Alright, the carnivore buns are all cooled off, so here is the finished product. Not sure if you can see, but it is definitely a lot thicker than the other burger buns. Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in and welcome back to another episode of Carnivore Kitchen. Today, I'm going to be showing you how to make some carnivore buns. But before I start, you guys know the drill. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, ding ding ding. And if you don't want to watch the entire video, I will be including timestamps in the description so you can skip ahead to the step that you need. Now onto the actual recipe itself. Before I get into the recipe, what exactly are we going to need? Well, we are going to need some Springform pans to put the batter in. I'm going to be using these 4-inch Springform pans. We are also going to need some eggs. For every burger bun that you are going to be making, you are going to need 2 eggs. I'm going to be making 8 burger buns, so I have 16 eggs over here. We are also going to need some pork rinds. I'm using the UTZ brand pork rinds. And some Pecorino Romano cheese. This is the one that I like. If you're not a fan of Pecorino Romano, or if you don't have it available, you can also use Parmesan or any type of grated cheese. And we are also going to need a scale to weigh out all the ingredients, a blender to blend everything up, and some MCT oil or some ghee to spray all of these Springform pans. Now that we know exactly what we need, what exactly do we need to do? Well, the first step that we need to do is preheat the stove. So what we're going to do is put it at 350 degrees. And while we're waiting for that to heat up, what we're going to do now is crack all of the eggs. First thing we're going to do is go ahead and turn on the scale. That way we know exactly what the weight is. The reason that we are going to be weighing the eggs is because I actually made a burger bun recipe a few weeks back. I'll include a link right up over here in the corner. That way you guys can check that one out. I personally love those burger buns, but they are a little bit thin. When I make my burgers, I tend to do a double bacon cheeseburger with some egg in there. So between the 2 patties, the bacon and the egg, it comes out pretty thick, so I like the thinner buns for that. For those of you that like to just have one burger patty in your bun, then you may not like those ones. These ones are going to come out a little bit thicker because I'm substituting one of the ingredients. In the other ones, what I did was I put in a lot of butter, and I'm going to be substituting the butter for the Pecorino Romano cheese, which is going to make it a little bit more voluminous and a little bit more thick for the burger buns. But that's basically the recipe that we're going to be doing today. First step, let's go ahead and crack these eggs. And now that all of the eggs are cracked, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the weight. It is 830 grams. So what we want to do is put exactly half of that weight of the pork rinds next. But first, we're going to do 1 turn of sea salt for every egg that we have in here. But again, I have 16 eggs, so I'm going to do 16 turns. And we're just going to go ahead and set this aside until we need to put it in the blender. Next, let's go ahead and weigh out 415 grams of the pork rinds. Alright, there we go, 415 grams of pork rinds. Luckily, we don't need any more than that because this bowl is about to overflow. But next step, we are going to take the pork rinds and we are going to blend it up in the blender. Alright, the pork rinds are all ground up, so now what we're going to go ahead and do is go ahead and take the blade out and let's put all the pork rinds in the large bowl. Next step is to add the Pecorino Romano cheese to the pork rinds. Again, we're going to be adding half of whatever the weight was of the pork rinds. For the pork rinds, we had 415 grams. So for the cheese, what we're going to be doing is 207.5. I'm going to round up to 218, but that is the next step. So let's go ahead and add our cheese. And now that the cheese is in there, next up, we are going to go ahead, take our eggs, and we are going to blend them all up. Now we can go ahead and take our blended up eggs. We're going to go ahead and add it to the mixture of cheese and pork rinds. And now the next step is to mix everything up. Alright, batter's all mixed. That's what it looks like once it's all mixed. In here we have about 1,452 grams worth of batter. And because we're making 8, 1,452 divided by 8 is 181.5. So that is what we are going to put in each of the Springform pans. But first, what we're going to go ahead and do is take our MCT oil or our ghee and spray each of the Springform pans. That way it does not stick to the actual pan. Next, let's go ahead and zero out the scale. And now that the scale is zeroed out, we're going to go ahead and add 181 to 182 grams to each of the Springform pans. And the last thing, before we actually put it in the oven, we're going to go ahead and take a spoon and we are going to flatten them out into the Springform pan. Alright, now that we have the batter all flattened out, that is what it looks like once it's in the Springform pan. We're going to go ahead and put these in the oven, and I'm going to set the timer for 45 minutes because that's what I did with the last bun recipe that I made, and they came out really good, so we're going to stick with the same time. And in about 45 minutes, these bad boys will be ready to be taken out of the oven. One thing with regard to this recipe is right now I'm making a bulk batch, but if you do not want to make a bulk batch, you could also make a single serving. The way that this recipe works is however many eggs you are making. If you are making one burger bun, you want 2 eggs for every burger bun. So if you were just making one, you would weigh out 2 eggs, then half of that amount of weight you would put of pork rinds, and then half amount of that weight you would put of the Pecorino Romano or the Parmesan cheese, whichever one you prefer. But that's basically how you would make it if you're making a single serving. You could also bulk batch it, and you could do more than 8. What basically the rules are, you weigh out the eggs, half of that weight in pork rinds, half of that weight in Pecorino Romano cheese. I have yet to try this recipe out. This is the very first time that I'm making it. I just decided off the top of my head what would happen if I put eggs, half the weight in pork rinds, half the weight in cheese. So I'm going to be just as surprised as you guys are to see how exactly these come out, but I'm pretty sure they're going to come out well, but we'll find out in about 45 minutes. Alright, so I just checked on the carnivore buns, and it looks like they're ready 10 minutes early, so instead of 45 minutes, I'm going to be leaving them in there for 35 minutes, but we can go ahead and turn the oven off and take these bad boys out. I'm just going to let these cool off for a little bit before I take them out of the Springform pans, but just looking at them right now, they definitely look a little bit more voluminous, and they seem a lot more light and fluffy to the touch rather than dense. So if you do prefer a little bit more light, fluffy bread, then this is going to be preferable to the other one. If you prefer it a little bit more dense and compact, then you will prefer the other one. I love the other one personally, but I can't wait to give these a try and see how exactly these taste. Alright, the carnivore buns are all cooled off, so here is the finished product. Not sure if you can see, but it is definitely a lot thicker than the other burger buns. That's pretty much it though for today's video. I can't wait to give these a try, so I'm going to leave you guys for now. If you have any other suggestions that you would like me to try, go ahead, leave your recipe suggestions down in the comment section. Whichever one gets the most like, I will try to make that type of recipe for you guys. But that's pretty much it for today's video. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to smash that like button so I know to make more of these types of recipe videos in the future. And if you're either new to the channel or haven't subscribed yet, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell, as I will be uploading new videos every single day. That's it for today's video. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you again tomorrow.